subjects at MSME Center, Bangalore. Today, it was due to the lockdown for the last more than 1.5 months. We've been trying to host some kind of online courses, and Lagu Udyog Bharati really pitched in into this. And I thank Lagu Udyog Bharati for providing us an opportunity to get Dr. Suresh and to help you out all with questions. Thank you very much. And now I hand over to Dr. Suresh to continue with the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vijay Simha, sir.
Thank you, sir. May I request if you can mute your mics? There's a lot of disturbance going on. The stray voice here. Very good afternoon to all ladies and gentlemen. I would take this opportunity before starting off to thank Commander Vijay Simha and Lagu Udyog to have given me this wonderful opportunity to showcase or come out with what is data science. Before I begin, I just wanted to tell you a small little thing. It was about a week and a half, two back, where I had a session with the government of Saudi Arabia, where they wanted me, along with a team of mine, to implement some projects in data science. We have started off with that, and we are very happy doing this. Even the ground level of understanding of even the government of Saudi is little bit weak on this. So at least we could explain to them, or how is it that this would be implemented in Saudi. Okay, our session today, before I start off the session, my assurance that we will have a lifelong support. I will provide a lifelong support, untainted support to Lagu Udyog on implementation or training or consultancy in data science. This thing, what I show all my trainees for the purpose that it is a support or a assistance from my side without expecting any returns. So a lifelong support from my side in the field of data science, because I find it thrill to work in this field of data science. And in any case, I have Commander Vijay Simha has already spoken about me. I've got 26 plus years of experience. I've done my doctorate in data science from BITS Pilani, and I've done many projects in data science, and the thing still continues because I love working in this field. And what we will be doing, since I have been given a short little window of about 35 to 40 minutes, our session would revolve around these following things. We will see what is data science. We will see the main phases of a data science project. We will also introduce the very big concept in data science called big data. We will see how do we learn data science. This is for a novice, a person who is jumping into data science for the first time. And definitely, learn and implement data science in your organization. We would take an example of domain knowledge attainment. Also, we would see the most powerful tool in data science as on today, which is Anaconda Navigator, which is used across the board by almost all developers anywhere in the world. And we will see the traits of a data scientist, good traits of a data scientist, and some small little concept on data engineering. And finally, we'll sum it up with practical application of data science targeted towards Lagu Udyog and MSME. Before we get into anything of data science, let's basically understand what is this data science. Please understand, friends, this concept of data science is a very loosely used concept anywhere in the world. Everybody, it is like this. A person working with a software company, maybe the person is just a clerk or a peon. He or she calls himself a software engineer. Why? Because a person is working with software company. No. Like that, this term of data science is very loosely used across the globe. What I understand and what our ecosystem understands by data science, it is something which resides at the intersection of three circles. This small portion, which my mouse is currently revolving around, this small circle, which is the intersection of three big circles, out of which the first circle on the left hand side, which I mentioned as hacking skill, this is nothing but computer programming. Please understand, before we begin, nothing in data science has got anything with regard to computer science. Nothing. Data science is an interdisciplinary field, drawing its expertise from all the fields, almost all the fields. So the first circle of mine, which is hacking skill, you definitely need to know something or good amount of knowledge in R, Python, and of late Julia Definitely, you need to be abreast with the concepts of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, then few other concepts like NLP and NLTK, which is nothing but natural language processing and natural language toolkit. But our friends in data science are not comfortable with this. Definitely, the data which is being fed into data science or the raw data is something which comprises big data. So 100% you need to know end to end of big data, including the storage, processing and retrieval of big data. All these big high-end concepts and big data come into picture here. That is, we will use the concept of Hive, Pig, Kafka, of which run on Apache platform, all these concepts. Apart from that, definitely I would remain silent, or very lightly I would say it is the visualization tools also play a big role. Python or R by default have got their own visualization tool. That is, R has got the visualization tool of ggplot2. Python has got the visualization tool of Seaborn and Bokeh. But the world is not comfortable with this. We need better and better tools. So there are many of these COTS tools which are available in the market and which rule the industry as on today. That is of Tableau and Power BI. Definitely, my personal suggestion, which I would be giving as the last slide of today's presentation, is small little suggestion for any of this startup enterprise or even for LUB on what is that which will see the light of the day. Definitely, after this, the second circle where I've written maths and statistic knowledge, it is nothing but mathematical modeling. And either you can use R or Python. But today the industry has told, when you program in R, the programs execute much faster with minimal memory space allocation. So either you can do in R or Python. And the last circle, which is substantiative expertise, which is nothing but the domain knowledge expertise, which you don't get in any market in the globe. Which comes only by your work experience. And as on today, I have got substantial expertise in healthcare domain, finance domain, automotive domain, and even the engineering domain. Because by nature, or by, you can say, by genesis, I am a mechanical engineer, where I've done my BE in mechanical engineering, thereafter migrated to computer science. So this forms the definition of data science, which we need to understand before going anywhere further. Now, before we jump into this big ocean of data science, small little concepts you need to understand very well. There are some loosely used terms in our ecosystem. First of all, being data analytics. People use data analytics and data science, they confuse it with each other or loosely intermingle it with each other. Data analytics is nothing but the science of analyzing raw data. After you analyze, you make conclusions about that. That is what is data analytics. In any case, data analytics is a very small child in data science. The next one is on data mining. This is nothing. What you do, you jump into the data, look for known pattern of information. That comprises what is data mining. Once again, data mining is also a very small child in data science. And the third concept, or the bigger concept, or the bigger umbrella for everything, is data science, which is nothing but an interdisciplinary field wherein you process the information, you collect the information, process, you develop mathematical model, you develop your own algorithms, and develop an insight out of this. Please understand, the primary purpose of data science is only for predictive analytics. And what I tell at all the forum where I address, there are three kinds of analytics. That is predictive, prescriptive, and descriptive analytics. All these three are very well taken care by data scientists. And in our ecosystem today, I'm very sure all of you must be knowing, we are three kind of people who do analytics. First is an astrologer. Second is a numerologist. And third is a data scientist. But the problem with an astrologer or numerologist is that he stands the risk of getting thrashed by the public. Whereas a data scientist does not run that risk. Why? He is not predicting anything. He is doing purely based on data, nothing on his whims and fancy. So what we say, the prediction or this predictive analytics by the data scientist is done with nothing less than 99.5% accuracy. Please understand, I have done a lot of this predictive analytics even for a software company at Pune, manufacturing company at Pune, where everything, nothing less than 99.5%, 99.9%. It is that accurate, because when you take a decision based on data, there is no question that it can be wrong, provided we have done it in the right way. So we proceed. Now, before we do anything in data science or anybody doing anything in data science, one small requirement is that you need to be good in storytelling. All due to the paucity of time, I won't have more than just one small storytelling or one slide for storytelling. Please understand, this is storytelling. This is database storytelling, what you're going to say. And whenever you do a storytelling with data, please understand, you need to remember 8 commandments. First, begin with a question. That is, you set up a story. You have to take into account what is that your audience is going to learn. For me, minute you say it is a storytelling, I say it should be nothing other than the standard of Sholay movie, where since 1970 till 2020, it has been running perfectly fine. Something of that standard. Second, you have to end with an insight. See, if at all you're not able to learn anything from the story, what is the use of telling the story? Definitely, the third, you need to tell a very, very compelling story. People remember only stories, not the data. And you have to glide the people along with you as you flow through the story. And these commandments are not the one which I have written. The entire ecosystem follows this. Definitely, your story should be with visuals, narrate, and you have to narrate it with words, because people understand better when it is visually explained. And the remaining 4 commandments are, you have to be very, very honest and very credible. Please do not sugarcoat your negatives. And your story has to be extremely clear and concise. Preferably, let it be in bulleted points. And you have to cater to the audience. What are the interests of the audience? What are the goals of the audience? Definitely, you need to cater to that. And finally, you need to provide context of whatever you have told. So if at all, if you're ready, I show you a slide, and can I request you in not more than 3-4 seconds, if you can tell me what is the story which you draw out of this. The title of the slide is, where are your eyes drawn? Please do not think that this is a blurred image. The image is with high resolution. It is exactly like this. Anybody, if you want, you can tell, or otherwise, I would say, as a data scientist, what is that I infer from this pic of mine, where we got number of cars somewhere in US, number of cars blocking the road or choking the road. So what I draw out as clutter. Yes, sir. That is fine, sir. But as a data scientist, I take it in a different way.
Sure.
I would say my eyes go to the sun. Please go over here. It goes to the sun, then to the car, and back to the sun again. Then when I focus on the sun, I can see the car with my peripheral vision. I can still see the bright sun at the corner of my eyes. And that is, in applying learning to data visualization, we should be aware that when we emphasize multiple visualization techniques simultaneously on a graph or slide, these are a few of the solution. But why I showed you this, our line of thinking should be aligned in this way. Once it is in this way, we can very proudly say that we are moving in the line of data science. Please understand, in this era where there is a huge amount of information explosion, that is, there is huge amount of information from different fields is gathered and stored, its analysis and extraction of value have become one of the most attractive tasks for companies and societies in general. The design of solution for new questions emerge from data has required multidisciplinary team. So we have a multidisciplinary team. We need to have a multidisciplinary team of computer scientists, statisticians, mathematicians, biologists, journalists, sociologists, and so on, as well as many others who work together in order to extract knowledge from data. And it is here that this new interdisciplinary field of data science has emerged. The pipeline of any data science goes through asking the right questions, gathering data, cleaning data, generating hypothesis, making inference, visualizing data, accessing solution, and so on. So this is the general pipeline for any data science project. Now, we will just see in very, very brief as to what are the main phases of a data science project. I have made a small little pic over here. This illuminates the major phases of a data science process. Please understand, these phases shouldn't be treated in a waterfall fashion. That means you should not infer that one phase must be completed before the next phase begins. Rather, a typical data science project involves many iterations, similar to maybe an agile software development project. The concept of phases is intended only to remind us that the focus shifts over time from one phase to another. It isn't evident from looking at this slide, but the most critical stage over here is project initiation. At this time, I would remember only what Mr. John Dewey in 1938 had told, that it is a familiar and significant saying that a problem well put is half solved. So keeping that in mind, I would say this is what I would say as the main phases of a data science project. Now, it is phase of ours that we introduce this concept of big data. You all must be, I would say you all know what is big data. Big data means something which is very, very big. Something big. Let's go by the English meaning of this. Something very huge. And huge, how huge? How huge and how much? Can somebody tell me how much is the information that Google processes each day? How much and what quantity of information does Google process each day?
1 trillion byte plus?
Yes, sir, it processes something around the tune of 20 petabytes, and 1 petabyte is 2 to the power of 80 bytes. So huge, it is massive. 2 to the power 80 is massive, and that much amount, and that is one petabyte. It processes 80 petabytes of information every day. But whenever we Google something, sir, does Google take time to retrieve the information? Not at all. Google says, I'm comfortable. I know how to handle my data. So big data, please understand, refers to data at scale that is difficult to conceptualize. The problem with big data is an analogy to help you understand why data scientists are required when designing a big data system is that of, you can take the case of designing a building. If you want to design your own home, you might be able to draft your own floor plan or find one on the internet and give it to the builder. You don't need to be an architect. Scale that up to designing a multi-story apartment building. Then you must be a certified architect, but you can rely on existing resources and tools to complete the design. Finally, say if you are hired to design the world's tallest skyscraper or build apartments on an artificial island in the middle of the sea, then you not only must be a certified architect, but also must possess extraordinary knowledge and experience applying unconventional methods and use unique tools. Please understand, designing a big data system is analogous to designing a skyscraper and requires none other than data scientists with vast knowledge and experience. The minute we say big data, it is something which fits into 4 V's. What are these 4 V's? The first V stands for volume, something which has got sheer amount of volume. The assumption is that the vast quantity of data cannot fit on a single machine. So the data must be distributed over dozens of networked machines. This brings in all sorts of issues related to maybe distributed computing that don't exist in case of a single machine. So this completes our first V of volume. The second V is variety. Variety designates the property of data being organized in various ways. Say in a classical setup, we presume well-structured data whose schema is properly documented. Usually such data reside in relational databases. With big data, we must also deal with unstructured and semi-structured forms of data. Nonetheless, all data eventually needs to be aligned and managed in a unified fashion. Now we get into the concept of third V, which is velocity, which dictates the pace of data change. That is arrival of new data, update of existing data, and removal of data. Please understand, beside processing data at rest, many times we must handle data changes in real time to avoid any data loss. This kind of data management is known as stream processing. Streams of data may arrive to a system previously trained on historical data, and this data combination of historical and real data is sometimes called as actionable information. So after seeing this 3 V's, the 4th V is veracity, which is about trustworthiness of data. As we amalgamate disparate data sources, we must handle inaccurate, incomplete, and even misapplied data. So all these 4 V's required novel methods such as algorithms, technologies. Also, please understand the complexity and size of the required software systems become much larger. These are the principal reasons why data science gets so much attention from both research community and industry. So after having seen a brief intro on big data, let's do something to capitalize on this big data. Please understand the critical step for any manufacturer is, be it even a mechanical manufacturer, is how is it that he is going to capitalize on this information. What most companies do, they invest large amount of money on tracking this data or drawing insights from this data. A wonderful tool which is available as on today, when you, I would say use the word, when you get married to data science, is on the usage of recommender system. You will have your computer assisting you, where it will tell you what to do, whether if you go off track, it will tell you how to come back to track based on past and historical data. So why is it that we cannot get into this concept and capitalize on this big data? Please understand, as on today, there are many companies who have invested trillions of rupees to capitalize on this big data, grab knowledge from this big data. Once again, I would say this big data need not be something in the form of an Excel spreadsheet. It can be structured, it can be unstructured, it can be semi-structured, it can be word of mouth, it can be handwritten data, any kind of format. But my concept in data science, when I use Python or Julia for data science, in no time, it extracts all the information that I want. Now, going ahead, we will see how do we learn and implement data science. See, this is a very fundamental topic of data science, since constant learning at all level, that is at the domain level, technology level, algorithm level, and the programming language level with practice are the hallmarks of this profession. Learning data science means gaining knowledge and understanding of data science. How? Through study, instruction, and experience. So when you learn data science, there are 3 interconnected core competency areas in data science. That is, which we had seen those 3 circles. One is the domain knowledge, one is mathematics or statistics, and finally, which we told hacking skill or the software knowledge. This triad can be conveniently explained or illustrated with a Venn diagram, which we had seen at the beginning of this session. We need to recall that data science is something which revolves around teamwork, which means communication capabilities at multiple levels is crucial. For example, you must speak the language of the domain to communicate properly with important stakeholders and other team members throughout the project. To make this elaboration more concrete, we can acquire domain knowledge and we can also even acquire programming skills. Please understand, in any data science project, since that bottommost circle is domain knowledge, definitely we need somebody who has got sufficient expertise in that domain, be it a manufacturing sector, be it any kind of sector, construction, IT, electronics, any kind of sector. That is one, because without the 3rd circle, the entire this triad of this Venn diagram is not complete. So we definitely need the person who has got substantial expertise in the domain. We can also see going ahead on how do we attain the domain knowledge, but definitely without mentioning it very formally, domain knowledge is something which only comes by experience, and person who has got hands-on experience on working with that particular system, equipment, anything. But data science requires a different kind of acquaintance. That is, beside enabling effective communication, deep understanding of a domain is mandatory for some of these tasks which I'll mention, which has got direct relevance to domain knowledge. That is, how do you prune an outlier? How do you delete incomplete observation? How do you replace parts of incomplete observation with estimate? How do you remove duplicates? These and many, many more other things is something which falls under this purview of domain knowledge. See, it is not enough to simply remove missing values. Sometimes blind removal of data may completely distort the result. You must make a judicious decision based on domain knowledge before doing this kind of a cleanup with your data. Now, after this, let's go over to the tool which I will be using, or which we will be using when at all when you deploy this data science solution in your organization. I fully understand there are many, many tools in the market, many, hundreds and thousands of tools. But this tool of Anaconda Navigator, which is free, anybody can download it from the public domain. This is the tool which we will be using when we develop a solution or data science solution for your industry, any kind of industry. It can be from any domain. This is a wonderful tool which is much better. Although this tool contains 3 places where I can code in Python, that is the Qt console, Jupyter Notebook, as well as Spider. Although irrespective of using this tool, I could have directly downloaded the Python version, which is 4.1, 4.2 or 3.8, which is a stable version, and work on that. But there is a big difference if I download a standalone version or use this Anaconda Navigator. Because when I use this Anaconda Navigator, my Python automatically converts into IPython. That's an interactive Python, which makes Python run at a speed of about 4 to 5 times faster than a regular Python program. So definitely any programmer in this, as on today in this world, prefer Anaconda Navigator, and usage of this is totally free. You can download it, use it to whatever extent you want. There is not a single rupee associated with this. Going ahead, we have to see towards the end, the ultimate thing of a thing. What should be the traits of a data scientist? I am very clear. By this time, you must have come out with some kind of a guess on what should be the traits of a data scientist. Now, suppose that you must prove or disprove the claim that there are integers m and n such that m square plus mn plus n square is a perfect square. For a superb introduction to mathematical reasoning, how would you proceed if I ask this? See, we would say that you are asked to write a function to sum the elements of any input floating point array with the highest degree of accuracy. You can neglect the performance implication. What would be the winning approach? Now, if you have managed to solve the problem, then try to explain why the function is behaving like what it is doing. Have you ever wondered what causes something called as rounding errors? How is the float data represented in Python? Please understand, a data scientist is that rare creature, I would say, who should possess good analytical skill. Be creative. Use utmost common sense and cultivate an inclination to ask why. Data scientists are those people who keep asking why for each and everything which they encounter, because he has got good analytical skill. He is creative. He uses common sense and he cultivates an inclination to ask why for all the concepts, because unless otherwise you ask why, you are not able to represent data in words. Now, the last part of a presentation, let's see on some practical application which would suit Lagu Udyog as well as MSME. Definitely, you can promote entrepreneurship. Anybody being a data scientist, it does not require 1 rupee of investment. Today, if we have to start a business, we require huge amount of investment in buying material, office space, everything. Nothing is required. You are a data scientist with 0 investment. You start, the only expenditure may be in setup of your company, which the government takes small little amount of money. Otherwise, absolutely nothing is required. Nothing is required. No business risk, nothing, absolutely nothing. You start from 0 and you start minting money. And this is a wonderful business, a unique of its kind, where you need not even hire anybody to do it. Unless otherwise you have got the skill, you can do it yourself. You don't need to hire anybody. You hire people when you get a bigger project. So it definitely would promote entrepreneurship. It helps you in global competence and competitive manufacturing. See, the big concept in data science is of predictive analytics. That is, you are able to predict some situation in advance. It was about 10, 11 months back where the company for which I am working in Bangalore, we developed a solution for multitude of companies at that Hosur belt and electronic city of service stations, automobile service station, where we could predict for them on the storage of inventory in the stores, because that is one place which eats up too much of money or the maximum amount of money for a workshop. We could predict for them with nothing less than 99.5% accuracy on what will be the spares that will be required in the near future. Perfect. Thereby what did we achieve? We reduced their dead inventory. We reduced their inventory carrying cost, lot of things, and the owner of these service station, majority of, they were thrilled. And for nothing, pure data science solution. We also did a lot of projects like, what do we do when I say maybe we sit on a motorcycle in the morning or a scooter, kickstart it, it doesn't start. What do? We check immediately if the fuel is there in the tank. Fine, if fuel is there, still it doesn't start, give a choke and try. Still doesn't start, what do? Do some little bit thing here and there, shake the vehicle little bit and still give it a kick to start. If it still doesn't start, what do? We blindly go and admit it at the service station. But how sure are we that the person who accepts your vehicle is going to do the right job? Because the person who is going to work at the service station, he is once again an illiterate person. His level of IQ is much lower than yours. How do you know what he is going? He will tell you 10 different stories and eat up a lot of money from you. Instead of that, if you got a problem, develop a small little solution, maybe which is a web-based solution, which tells you what to do next. It keeps telling you, it keeps advising you either by voice or by video. Check this, check that, whatever. And only as a last resort, it tells you go to the service station. It is doing predictive analytics for you. As on today, these manufacturers are deeply interested in high performance or maximum performance of their company, and definitely good results. We also need the best possible way to hold all problematic issues, overcoming difficulties, and giving us those wonderful chance where we are able to predict or use this concept of predictive analytics for higher profit maximization for our company. The implementation of this predictive analytics definitely leads to reduction of waste. That is, it reduces overproduction, idle time, logistics, inventory, so on and so forth. This is, once you jump into this, then you understand how is it that this concept of, I will do lean manufacturing, reduce all these things. Definitely it will help me out. And one big thing what this concept of data science, when amalgamated with the industry, can do, accurate fault prediction, 100%. And I'll have the just-in-time spares for any service station, so that I'm able to reduce the dead inventory, reduce the inventory carrying cost. Third one, which I told, no more of this condition-based predictive maintenance or plan preventive maintenance. We will jump into the concept of cloud-based analytical maintenance. This recently, maybe about 20-25 days back, I had presented a paper at Hyderabad on practically how can you implement a cloud-based analytical maintenance, where just do away with all kinds of maintenance solution. We will do state of art, which will work on purely old, your historic and your past data. Work on that. It pulls out solution from that and it suggests to you what is the kind of maintenance you need to do. It makes you more intelligent. And definitely it will help you with this concept of data science, would help you with demand forecasting and inventory maintenance. You can have your demand forecasting bang on time when you need the thing, maybe 4 or 5 days before. Why should a service station spend money unnecessarily stocking up spare? For what? Because those spares are the one which eats up majority of the expenditure or eats up majority of revenue of a company. Accurate demand forecasting and inventory maintenance. Apart from this, we also can do price optimization, HR analytics, financial analytics, anything. Name a thing, there is data science for the rescue. Price optimization, when I optimize the price, definitely it goes hand in glove with the production process. I am able to increase my profit in a much, much better way. And product development, where I'll use the concept of big data. Use my big data, take advice from my big data on what is that which has been done anywhere in the world on this, and what is that big manufacturing companies have done, and develop my product in such a way that it is right and to the customer's taste or customer's choice. I can also manage to a very, very large extent or 200% the supply chain risk. And please understand this, you must be very well aware that this supply chain have been always very complex and unpredictable. And how is it that I'll overcome? I'll use analytics and identify backup suppliers, develop contingency plan. That is, if one person is not there, somebody else automatically, the order goes to somebody else and the person does it himself. I will manage the supply chain risk in a very, very efficient manner. The last slide of mine, or the ultimate slide of mine, a small little proposal to Laghu Udyog and MSME. Let's not go by this huge and big concepts what float around in our ecosystem and in the market. Rightly, what is required as on today are data science solution with Python and Julia. Definitely nothing other than serial number 2, that is Tableau. These are the professionals who are highest paid in the world as on today. You can develop business intelligence using Tableau. Wonderful state-of-art solution. Investment zero. Then if it is a manufacturing organization, we definitely have to use Power BI. It's a Power Business Intelligence solution to fine-tune the business in 100% of the areas where the business is working. But all these things have to rely or rest on big data analytics. It is only then that the company would propel ahead. Thank you, sir. I have finished. Anybody, anything you could kindly ask me, sir. I would take it as my privilege and make an attempt to answer whatever you ask me, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh.
Yes.
Before I hand over the session to the open session, a couple of questions have already been keyed in.
Yes,
the first
sir.
question is from Mr. Suresh.
Yes, sir.
He says he has a 19-year-old company and it's a HR solution company.
Sir.
He has trained about 49,000 plus people.
Okay.
Placements recruitment is having a database of 12.85 lakh.
Okay, sir.
So how can we integrate this platform is what is the question. Can the Anaconda Navigator work?
Yes,
with them?
sir.
Is it standalone
Yes.
kind of-
I've got your question, sir. Sir, we need to understand, sometime back I gave a small example of Google. Google processes about 20 petabytes of data. That is, 1 petabyte is 2 to the power of 80 bytes. Massive amount of data. If the solution or the data set is small, I will say don't resort to data science. Please work with Excel. And as on today, Excel is not used anywhere other than in kindergarten or nursery. Nowhere else Excel is a highly unreliable solution. My friend of this Python and Julia can handle wonderfully well big data in no time. And that too, I would categorically say in no time. In absolutely no time, it handles this big data in just with one line of a code. And now I handle big data to open big data. That is it. Now, and this data can be, once again, I'll say it can be in any format. It can be in Excel, CSV, SAS, SPSS, JSON, TXT, any kind of format. You give me any kind of format, you just need to count 1, 2, 3. I'll process the data and give it to you back. That's all. It doesn't take more time than that. Because my tools of R, Python, and Julia have been designed only to handle big data. Only to handle big data. But if at all you're using the wrong tool, say you're trying to use an Excel or any other solution, definitely we are hitting our head on the wall because we are in the wrong place. We have to use nothing other than the solution of data science or using these tools of R and Python. But definitely using this solution for Mr. Suresh who has asked this question, what you can do HR analytics. That is fitting the right person using on the right job at the right time. That is what is HR, the primary reason for functioning of any HR. In no time, this can be done by these tools in data science. Sir, have I answered your question, sir?
Sir, you have answered the question. I would like to take it offline on the HR analytics. It's a brilliant presentation, sir. I will take it offline with you, sir, later.
Sir, thank you, sir.
I don't want to just block for others. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There is a question from Mr. Harish, sir. How to basically kickstart the entire idea of data science?
Sir, to start with the idea of data science, sir, today in our ecosystem, we have got many books which says learn Python in 15 minutes. But if you ask me professionally, there are people who have been learning Python for more than 3 to 5 years. Still they say, I don't know anything. I'll tell you a good example before I answer, come bang on this point, sir. So it was about 3-4 months back. I was called in by IBM at Koramangala to have a training for their employees in data science. So as usual, after first 2-3 days, I asked the employees, how much do you rate yourself in Python on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 means you know nothing, 10 means you know everything. They told, see, the minimum experience which we have got is 9.5 years, and we are hardcore Java developers. We rate ourselves 6 and 7 out of 10. I told, wonderful. Then there is nothing for me to teach, because I rate myself 1 or less than 1. But please believe me, sir, after first 1 week, all of the 100% of them told we are not even 0. Why 1? You are much higher. We are not even 0, because Python is an ocean. To start Python, there are few little prerequisites, which is the programming tool as on today. And as on today, Python, I don't want to scare you saying it is a programming language. It is a simple spoken English language. To know Python, you have to be reasonably good in Excel. You have to be reasonably good in mathematics. That is discrete mathematics. Once you're comfortable with these two, then straight away you can jump to Python or R simultaneously. Once you pick up some skills in Python, you can jump into Julia. Parallelly, you can jump into artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. All of this fall in place, and sometime is totally up to you, sir, how fast you can pick up. And in no time, we need to start working on industry ready projects. Then you know how to implement this, because there is a huge difference in what is written in a book and what is implemented in industry. So definitely you need to start working with industry ready projects. Sir, have I answered the question, sir?
Yeah, I got all the details, but
Sir.
I want to know how to kick off and where to kick off.
Sir, in which
background of some software is not a problem.
Yes, sir.
I have a market experience almost around 20 years in the field.
Okay, sir. Sir, first you need to be good in Excel and discrete mathematics. Then straight away you can start in Python. Frankly speaking, sir, even if it is for the purpose of learning, or is it for the purpose of implementation in your industry, sir?
Not in my industry. I want to start any business in this area.
Yeah, what kind of business? Is it a consultancy, training,
like
project?
Consultative type.
Sir, for that you need to be very, very thorough with these concepts. And to be thorough, frankly, I would say all these concepts put together, it does not take more than 2 months. Not at all more than 2 months.
Yeah,
But
I have a little bit background of Mu Sigma, how they started actually.
Yes, sir.
So they are working
Mr.
with
Harish,
very
we can
big.
take these personal questions offline, please.
Not a personal question. I want to just kick off. How to kick off?
Yeah,
That's
this is.
all.
We have a couple of plenty of
Fine,
questions.
fine. Thank you.
If you don't mind, please.
Okay.
Sir,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Pranesh Gupta has a question, sir.
Sir.
How can I start with data science projects?
Sir, data science project, you should start off, I would say, let it not be a static project. Start with a very, very small project, maybe on the loan calculation, interest rate, that let those kind of project form your baseline. Then immediately after that, get into practical project. Say you're working for create a data science solution for a workshop, maybe a financial solution, an HR solution, healthcare solution. Healthcare solutions are little bigger solutions which require intense amount of knowledge. You start graduate in that way, and how much time, it is purely on your skills. It can take anything between 2-3 days to 2-3 years. How fast or how comfortable with your all this. And for all these things, one thing is very, very important. With whom are you doing it? Because if you're doing it with a thorough professional who does not mind explaining it to you in the shortest possible time, you'll learn. It's like this, sir. Today I can start playing cricket maybe with my neighbor, and maybe for each ball I hit him for a 6. I can also start playing cricket with Sachin Tendulkar. But when I play with Tendulkar, it is going to be wonderful cricket, and he'll teach me the inside out of cricket. It is that, sir. With whom do you work so that you pick it up in a right way?
Okay, there's a question from Mr. Vriksham, sir.
Sir.
Can we have a cloud-based integration tool to integrate our database, that is HR solutions based?
Yes,
what
sir.
HR optimization? Can you do it for us?
Yes, sir. Data science as on today does not reside in any single computer or a group of computer. All the solutions are cloud-based solution. And as on today, although I agree, I didn't mention, entire data science is on the cloud. And there are so many cloud platforms, the entire data science community believes in having the solution either on MongoDB or Apache Cassandra. These are two wonderful state-of-art platforms. Sir, I am working on a project with Nimans Hospital where I am working on MongoDB, which resides on the cloud. Minute I say MongoDB, it resides on the cloud. And once the solution resides on the cloud, it takes no time for integration, whether you want to store it. Then the concept of data warehousing also comes into picture. One by one, these concepts keep getting added up on a case-to-case basis, sir.
So Mr. Kumar has a question, sir.
Sir.
How is your solution can help for the marketing and also digital marketing?
Sir, I would say, sir, the concept of data science, like any other field, has grown by leaps and bounds. As on today, minute I say data science, it is AI-enabled data science, artificial intelligence-enabled data science. Marketing is purely artificial intelligence-enabled marketing. Minute you do that kind of thing, not 100, 5,000% you're going to be successful. And if you're talking about you want to do marketing on the net, please understand we are going to move away from this current internet what we have got away. Anytime, it can be 1 day or 1 month or 2 months. We are going to move into the concept of blockchain. Please do blockchain marketing. Highly successful. 100% result guaranteed. It's 100%. Please do anything with the concept of blockchain.
Okay, there's a lengthy question from Mr. Singh, sir.
Sir.
I am planning to work on self-maintenance of machines using industrial automation tools like PLC and SCADA-based programming. But it will include many sensors which will fetch data from machine and send that to PLC for further processing. So can we come to know about the malfunction of machine? Is it costly? But it is costly, but I use Python platform. It will still need that hardware setup, or there is some other options.
Sir, for this, I've got the question, sir. So this is basically, sir was telling that there are multiple points from where the information or the data is picked up. What I want for my program, you can have an A to D converter. That is, it picks up the analog input, gives it to me as a digital output. That's all. My program gets the digital output. I'm able to do everything. And if you listen to how much money will be involved, you'll be surprised. It is zero, nil expenditure. You can develop the hardware part. I won't say is part of data science. Whether you need a sensor, whatever kind of a sensor or whatever kind of a pickup device, that is the machinery owner's prerogative. What I want for my program is a digital input for my program. If the signal that is picked up is analog, convert it into digital and feed it to me. I will do everything. 100% of thing. Nothing I need and zero expenditure.
Mr. Narayana Prasanna has a question, sir. How data science will help on manufacturing and marketing for MSMEs?
Sir, lean manufacturing, waste reduction. Lean manufacturing, waste reduction, the spares optimization, 100%. Sir, as on today, in this entire world, I would say minus my very own country of India, but India also to a very large scale, almost all countries in the world, anything which is done is only purely data science solution. It's a data science or data analytical based solution. Please understand, as on today, the highest paid professionals anywhere in the world are data scientists. It's not the computer engineers. So that's why anything, whether you do it using in the healthcare, manufacturing, production, HR, finance, everything is a data science based solution. And to implement it doesn't take time and effort. I would say, be it whatever kind of industry with MSME, any kind, mechanical, electronic, electrical, anything, 100% of the areas it can be implemented. And for this, I would suggest, try one solution. You'd be delighted. I would say that, sir, you won't like it. You will be delighted. You will say, wow, what a solution is this. Wonderful solution.
Mr. Girish V. Gumaste has a question, sir. He's basically saying your presentation was superb, but to get a deep dive into it, how effective use of data science in our MSME industry? Can you illustrate with one example?
Yes, sir. Sir, I would suggest, see, whatever we do, whatever is being done in MSME, let's not, I would again say, let's not restrict ourselves to only the information in MSME. I'll develop a cloud-based solution, rest it on MongoDB, which is on the cloud. Which cloud service provider I choose, that is our own prerogative. It can be Google Cloud, Amazon, whatever I want, I'll choose. That is not part of my job. And that is just a support, I would say. I have my solution on the cloud. Say, let's take the case, maybe it is a CNC manufacturing industry. Apart from the data which this CNC machines give me, I will pull in data from all over the world. From all over the world, wherever such kind of machines operate. And definitely, if there is any kind of a problem with regard to the machinery or not performing properly, what I'll do, I'll just introduce a small little spider on the web. I'll have a web-based spider which will crawl the web. Go to that person or whoever an expert is, request him for information, come and give it back to me. That's all. And all this in no time. Minute I say web, it is no time, absolutely no time. Web is not designed by me. I leverage on the capacity or the power of web, have my crawler crawl on the web. It will go fetch the information, give it to me. Definitely
Seamless.
it is very much possible.
Seamless.
So there is Mr. Srinivasan has a question, sir.
Sir.
Is it possible to carry out a trial project to help MSMEs marketing their products and processes?
Definitely yes, sir. I won't say yes, I'll say definitely yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, Shekhar, and also Mr. Suresh. It's a wonderful presentation. And one more point I would like to ask is, how do you make an MSME business owner put down the right question to find out a solution to the problem? Because 50% of the solution to the problem is to draft the question itself.
Yes, sir. Sir, before you complete the question, I've got the answer. I would say, sir, in any data science project which comprises of just 6 steps, the first step number 1 is the one which eats up about 55% of the entire project time. That is data collection. Data collection means what data collection? People break their head on this data collection. You don't know what information to be captured, what question to be asked on that to the client, everything. It starts off from asking what questions to the client, what kind of information to be captured, when to be taken, and how is it that it is to be taken. Data science has got an end-to-end solution for all this. And this comes only by experience. Practical experience working with project, you know what kind of this thing. That's why, sir, if you remember today at the beginning, I told I have expertise in just this 4 or 5 or this big domains. I don't want to put my hand in, say, chemical engineering or plastic technology or some rubber molding technology. No, I don't have expertise. I don't want to put my hand in that. So amongst these things of healthcare, finance, engineering, and automotive sector, all these things, HR, finance, you tell me anything, end to end, I can provide you the solution, including which starts off definitely from asking what kind of question and how is it that the data is to be captured. Everything, end to end of everything.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful presentation and a lot of learning today.
Thank you, and my privilege, sir.
So Mr. Nikhil has a question.
Sir.
I need to know what is the concept of data mining in big data?
Sir, data mining, as we defined earlier, it's nothing. It's like a springboard in a swimming pool. What do? We climb at the 5-meter dive board, 5 or 7-meter dive board, jump into the pool, and we see how fast we can come out of water to save ourselves. Exactly, that is data mining. What do? You jump into the data, you look for valuable known pattern in the data, which this known pattern, I mean, based on what is your problem at hand. Say your problem, whatever your problem, you look for that known pattern in the data, and then you say, this is my known pattern in the data, the next solution will be like this. But that is also not 100% correct. If you're aiming for some solution, which today any industry aims for 100% solution, nothing other than a data scientist can help you with. Data mining is one very small part in data science. Very, very small part.
And Savitri Gunjal has a question, sir.
Sir.
I'm coming up with network marketing.
Sir.
Can I integrate this into it?
So that's what I said, blockchain marketing, state of art. It is not good, it is wonderful. Today's industry, anybody, any successful person, any successful company, they will rely on blockchain marketing. Please try, madam, please try blockchain marketing. You will ever remember me that I've given you this solution. It is a wonderful state of art solution.
And Aditya has a question. So where can we download the data as mentioned by you?
Yes, sir. Now, the data which you want, there are primary and secondary source. For this, you need to have one more small little skill, which is a part of data science, which I would call it as web scraping. Web scraping does not mean web hacking any web. No, I will silently scrap the web, pull out 100% of information. Let me give a small little analogy to this. About 5-6 days back, as part of one of the session which I was conducting, one of my students told me, can you get this information from this XYZ website? I told, please count 1 to 10. I'll give you the information. Then and there did more than what he wanted. I could give it to him. I am not hacking a site. It is purely legal. Web scraping is purely legal. It is not illegal. And since somebody has already put in efforts to collect that information for that particular site, what I am doing, I'm just putting my hand behind the website, pulling out the information and taking it. That becomes my secondary source of information. And in any case, madam, in data science, more the information, more accurate you are. You need to have massive amount of input information or raw data.
Okay, now the floor is open. Anybody can come and ask the question, please.
It's 17 hours.
Yeah, Mr. Satish, please go ahead. Mr. M. Satish, please go ahead. Okay, anybody else?
His mic is muted by admin or something.
No, you can unmute and talk, please.
Sir, good evening, sir. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
Sir, can we have your contact details, sir? Because we are very impressed about this presentation.
Contact details.
Yeah, please, sir. Please, sir. Please. Please. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nothing,
from,
nothing.
From the participants?
Sir, it is a really powerful one. The power of visualization, you showed it even without showing us your image. It's a very good sign. Though I could pick up your image from other sources. Okay. How do I start? My name is Vriksham Suresh. How do I start blockchain marketing? Madam asked a question. So linking to that, what Savitriji asked the question, how do I start blockchain marketing? We're a small 19-year-old company.
Yes, sir. Sir, to start blockchain marketing, first is, as any field, you need to understand the inside of blockchain. You need to create chains, link it up. I would say individual chains and link up the blockchain. And to learn blockchain, once again, in my way, I would say anything between 10 days to 10 years. It is totally up to you, sir, how fast you pick up, how fast. Incidentally, sir, I can just mention one thing, just for the, sake of it. I would say currently I'm very close to creating first of its kind of a blockchain solution in this entire world, which is a marine blockchain. First of its kind in the entire world. Me, along with my team, we are creating a marine blockchain, which definitely would help any country in the world. It is what you need to do. You need to create a chain, link it up to the main chain. And in any case, if you're able to do that, the Ethereum committee, they throw at you 15 Ethereum, which is around 75-80,000 Indian rupees, 75-80,000 they throw at you. And it is an open thing. Any time, any day, any time, you can do it. Fantastic. It requires good skill. But for even creating a chain or a link in the existing blockchain, I rely on Python. But that you need to know good amount of Python to do that. It is not difficult. I don't say it is difficult, sir.
Superb, sir. Thanks.
So, any other questions? I think we will close it. Thanks a lot, Dr. Suresh S. Kumar, for the exhaustive classroom-like presentation. In fact, it was quite a learning experience to all of us. Mr. B.S. Srinivasan, can you please conclude?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you and good evening to all our members. We had a wonderful session today and a very good learning session with Dr. S. Suresh. And I must also thank DGM TC, Mr. Vijay Simha, for organizing this event. And the Technology Center is going to be operational in the coming months for various activities on aerospace, defense, and other manufacturing, particularly in the ESDM in Devanhalli in Bangalore. And this session today was wonderful to learn about the leveraging the big data and the data science for the advantage of micro and small industries, and also the global competence in manufacturing which will help in implementing lean in a very big way. And the whole world is looking towards India for the manufacturing in the coming years. And we will definitely start this marketing activity for MSME on the blockchain marketing principles. And I thank you very much for participating today. And we will definitely inform all of you about the next sessions in the coming days. And I thank the Laghu Udyog Bharati team and all our guests today for the wonderful time. Thank you. Be safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Suresh sir and Vijay Simha sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.